Hey guys, it's Steve and this is Star Wars issue number 1. For the very first time I'm reading, and oh sorry, I have already read that one. I have read Star Wars 1 and hope you guys will enjoy this review also. And if you want to don't forget to like this one and share it. And if you want to enjoy this Star Wars beautiful issue, just go and buy it, and anywhere you can read it. The hard copy is really cool to read. I bet you will like it. So here we go, Star Wars issue number 1, book 1, Skywalker Strikes review, and this is comicvine.com. Tony G. Man Guerrero, as usual, he is the greatest thing in the comicvine.com review. Star Wars returns to Marvel Comics as we take a journey back a long time ago to a galaxy far away. A new Star Wars comic isn't something new. We have had many great Star Wars comics over the years. There is a new feeling of excitement with the franchise returning to Marvel Comics. The fact that both Marvel and Star Wars are now owned by Disney does give a feeling that continuity will be tighter. This first new series at Marvel focuses on the core characters we all love. Taking place right after episode 4 brings us back to that exciting time when it was still new for us. The Rebel Alliance have just won a major victory in destroying the Empire's Death Star. This was always a fascinating time for me. There may have been several novels and some comics taking place during this time period, but I always wanted to know exactly what happened between episodes 4 and 5. The rebels were victorious, but when we next saw them, they were still on the run, hiding out on a frozen planet. This issue begins exactly like you would hope, with the giant Star Wars logo followed by the scrawling yellow text leading into a scene reminiscent to the opening of episode 4. You feel like this is how it's supposed to be. The Star Wars galaxy is a big place and the Empire is a gigantic force to reckon with. There's no way destroying one Death Star as gigantic and powerful as it was could be a huge decimation against their forces. That means the Rebel Alliance job is not over. Now our characters are able to go on their next glorious missions to try to put an end to the Empire. Jason Aaron establishes the scene and all the players immediately. They all simply feel it right. John Cassaday also captures the likeness and the entire Star Wars vibe in his art. Color in Star Wars comics have always been my pet peeve. Trying to capture the feel of the movies with comic book art isn't easy. I have often been distracted by the colors, making it all look too artificial, but Laura Martin does a great job blending it all nicely. We shouldn't have overly bright colors, and there's a nice mix of muted tones along the shadows, and that is grime in the right places, except when a lightsaber is ignited, of course. We might just have the first chapter in an introductory tale, but it's captured my attention and my expectation have been made. I have, and from my personal opinion also, I have expected a lot from this one, and almost 90% expectation is just made from this issue, because every time I just expect more and more from a comic, and while reading it I do get upset sometimes because I expected a lot more from this comics. It's do not deserve that kind of thing anyway. So but this issue is met my expectation. That is really greatly 90%, and that is really fun because that means from the average I have expected more, and this is over the expected comics. So hope you guys will enjoy this one. And anyway, I have said it already, so just cut the bullshit crap out, and here we go with the verdict. No, the bad things about this one, there were a couple minor moments. Things felt a little cliche in a Star Wars fashion. There really isn't too much of a way around it as sometimes. I'm sure the characters almost write themselves if I am being nitpicky. Having Luke and Leia change out of their disguises in the middle of a mission into their more familiar outfits seemed unnecessary. Understandably, their true outfits provide better visuals, but in the middle of a mission where things are starting to turn and time is of the essence, it doesn't seem reasonable to change your clothes. I also couldn't help but wonder if anyone else needed to assist them on this mission. Based on the score, you can see this is truly not a big deal. Verdict about this one, there's been a lot of hype around this first new Star Wars comic at Marvel. Marvel has expected the challenge of delivering a Star Wars comic with a lot of high expectations surrounding it, and they have succeeded. Star Wars 1 simply feels like a true Star Wars story. Jason Aaron, John Cassaday and Laura Martin nail it completely. When you open the comic and see and read these first 2 pages. Those first few pages, you will likely hear the familiar theme song playing in your head. We have had some great Star Wars comics in the past, and this shows the franchise is headed in a great direction. If you're not already excited for the new Star Wars comics, you will be. You will be. That's why I'm saying you again and again. You have to buy it. This worth it. The price, and that is good. So anyway, comicbook.com, this review is given really good. Whether you are a diehard fan, a cinephile, or someone who just enjoys movies, you probably have some sort of relationship with Star Wars. The cultural impact of George Lucas' initial 1977 science fiction epic alone is a immeasurable touchstone that we all know and almost all enjoy. It is still a defining film for someone like myself who spends much of his personal and professional life engaging with stories in multiple mediums. That impact is integral to evaluating Star Wars 1 from Marvel Comics. It is not just a Marvel new series or another Star Wars story. It is a new starting point for the multimedia empire founded on this classic film and the first comic to sell more than 1 million issues in many years. The legacy of Star Wars and significance of this launch have set expectations for Star Wars 1 excessively high. Star Wars 1 met those expectations on the very first page, then it proceeds to exceed them. The first several pages of Star Wars 1 don't even contain the comic itself, beginning with the Star Wars logo laid across a black 2-page spread, which then leads into an introduction designed to appear like the classic scrolling exposition that opens each film. These choices may not have been even been made by the creative team, but they set to the tone that for the series in a way that seems incredibly obvious only in retrospect. Those 8 massive yellow letters on the opening spread connects the comics medium to the movie-going experience. You can almost hear the blast of trumpets in John Williams' score when appearing to the front page. That's it. So that was the thing, that whenever you just read the comic, for me also, that is, I feel like a movie if the comics is really good, and if you can attend the movie and take the movie attention into the comics read time, that is the more successful thing than that is nothing else you can do with this one. If you met this expectation from a comic read time, that is the great thing. This feels like a movie, you're watching a movie, that kind of thing. That big screen sensibility is maintained throughout the issue. In a comic that reads like Star Wars is watched, very few comics adaptations manage to succeed in capturing the look and feel of the source material. In that attempt, they often feel forced and lifeless, like cardboard cutouts to be placed alongside the real thing. Star Wars 1 is the thing itself. It reads like a comic cut from the same cloth as the first film. So hope you guys have enjoyed.